People from different regions and cultures used Koine Greek or Common Greek to communicate with one another. It's the same role that English plays today. English is the international language of business and tourism and diplomacy, and likewise, in the first century multicultural Mediterranean world, some level of Greek proficiency was just necessary for everyday interactions. Second, Peter was from Bethsaida and later lived in Capernaum, both of which were cities in Galilee. And Galilee had a mixed population that included many Jews, of course, but also Greeks and other Gentiles. In fact, these regions had a significant Greek influence due to Hellenization and their location near trade routes. So historically speaking, Greek was commonly spoken alongside Aramaic in these areas. In fact, Peter was a fisherman by trade, and fishing in the Sea of Galilee often involved trade with various ethnic groups, including Greeks. And communication with these different groups required at least a basic knowledge of Greek. And lastly, the biblical record suggests that Peter did, in fact, speak Greek. In Acts 10, he interacts with Cornelius, a Roman centurion. It's highly unlikely that a Roman centurion spoke Aramaic, so they most likely communicated in Greek. And Peter's 5 major speeches in the book of Acts were addressed to diverse crowds, including Hellenistic Jews and proselytes who would have been familiar with Greek. And more broadly, in Matthew 28, Jesus commanded all of the apostles, including Peter, to spread the gospel to all nations. And since Koine Greek was the primary language of the Eastern Mediterranean world, a working knowledge of Greek would have been essential for that mission. So, while Peter's native language was most likely Aramaic, not Hebrew, as Mr. Charles claims, Hebrew was not a commonly spoken language in daily life at that time. His life circumstances and his ministry work and his interactions with diverse groups of people would have required Peter to speak Greek at least conversationally. And therefore, I believe the most likely reason that Peter dictated his eyewitness accounts to Mark is that Peter, as an uneducated fisherman, only had a rudimentary command of the Greek language. So he dictated to Mark, who was far more proficient in the Greek written language. And the same thing may be true with 1st and 2nd Peter. It's entirely possible that he used an amanuensis, a scribe, to write his letters in Greek. And in that case, Peter would have dictated rather than wrote down the words, "If you suffer as a Christian, do not be ashamed, but praise God that you bear that name." Which brings us right back to the original question.